White Castle, Dairy Queen, Long John Silver's. Ring a bell? These are a few fast food chains that people seem to have completely forgotten about. But at one point, they were just as popular as the biggest brands we know today. That's why I've made a list of a few forgotten fast food chains and will be eating at them all just to answer a few simple questions. How did they fall off in the first place? And do any of these chains deserve to make a comeback? Ladies and gents, we've officially made it to forgotten fast food chain number 1, Long John Silver's, which once was known as the undisputable king of fast food seafood. I don't actually know who the new king is. All I know is this parking lot is basically empty, which means nobody goes here anymore. Long John Silver's was founded in 1969 and instantly became a huge hit. Back in the 80s, this fast food chain had over 1,500 locations and dominated the quick service seafood market. But as of today, there's less than 500 franchises still operating in the US. I will admit, I'm low-key a Long John Silver's fan. I remember coming here so much as a young boy, so I'm curious whether the food will be as good as I remember. We'll see. Walking inside, I was immediately met with the smell of fryer oil and I guess seafood, which felt somewhat nostalgic, and to my surprise, they also had a few customers.
I'm not sure when this specific Long John Silver's was built, but one thing I do want to point out, I am very glad it's not super modern like the other fast food chains. It's got character. I like character.
They had booths that looked like they belonged on a fishing dock, other seats with names of famous beach towns on them, fish decals on the wall, and maybe this is just me, but I can't help but compare this place to the Krusty Krab.
Now, since Long John Silver's is known for their seafood, I think I'm gonna get their 2-fish combo platter. That sounds like a lock. My food has been acquired, and I promise this isn't because I haven't eaten anything today, but this smells really good. Since I got the 2-fish platter, it comes with waffle fries, hush puppies, and of course, 2 big old pieces of fish. All of this only cost $11.69, which maybe I'm a little biased, but it's not a bad price.
Now, based on my research, one of the main reasons Long John Silver's is forgotten today, despite not really having any competition, is because back in 2013, disaster struck. At the time, an article was written by the Center of Science in the Public Interest, deeming their Big Catch meal the worst meal in America because it was too unhealthy, bolstering over 1,300 calories, 33 grams of trans fat, 19 grams of saturated fat, and over 3,700 milligrams of sodium, which is way more than what you should have in a day. And despite taking it off their menu, once a brand gets labeled like that, it's really hard to shake. With that being said, since these are fast food chains, being fatty and unhealthy is kind of a given, which is why I'm only judging the restaurants based on the food itself, specifically the taste, texture, and how much it costs, since that usually determines whether a fast food spot is worth it.
That's enough yapping though. This platter is calling my name. It's time to eat. Let's start with a french fry. Cheers. I've eaten a lot of french fries for these videos, and I gotta say, that's pretty good. The inside of the fry, nice and soft, but the outside still has a nice crunch to it. I approve. See? You hear that? It's a good fry.
Next, let's try one of these hush puppies. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this is just deep fried cornmeal batter with like some spices. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not really sure.
Little dip in some tartar sauce. I don't remember liking hush puppies as a kid, but now that I'm eating it as an adult, this is pretty good. The inside of this is soft, a little sweet. My only critique is maybe it's a little dry, but it's a fast food place.
It's time for the main event, the fish.
My hands are getting a little greasy though, so I'm gonna cut this thing open with the fork. Oh. I guess I'm destined to eat this with my hands. Cheers. I think anyone in their right mind would say that eating seafood from a fast food chain is a little sus. Regardless of that fact, this hits the spot. It tastes exactly like how I remember it tasting. The fish isn't dry, the combo with the vinegar and the tartar sauce, fantastic. And my favorite thing about Long John Silver specifically is their batter. I'm pretty sure it's mixed with club soda, which makes it super, super light and airy instead of heavy.
So I've officially gotten my fill of fried fish and other fried delicacies, which means it's now time to decide whether Long John Silver's deserves to make a comeback. Please keep in mind, this is my opinion and my opinion alone. I am not a real food critic. I'm just a guy. With that being said, I actually think Long John Silver's deserve to make a comeback. The food was good, the price was solid, and I'm giving it bonus points for having character. I like that. Now it's time to head to forgotten fast food chain number 2. I'm at Dairy Queen. Now, before anyone freaks out saying this place isn't forgotten, please let me explain. Despite Dairy Queen still having over 7,000 locations worldwide, in my opinion, most people only really know the place for one thing: their iconic blizzards. Newsflash, they also serve regular fast food here. The thing is, I don't know a single person that has ever gotten a full meal from Dairy Queen. I don't even know what options they have on the menu, so this is gonna be something new for me to discover. Hopefully it's as good as the fried fish I just had. I made my way towards the restaurant, but just as I was about to turn around and grab my camera,
Hey, if it's your first time at a Dairy Queen, I recommend the chicken strips.
Chicken strips?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, thanks. When I was filming B-roll of me walking in, a nice lady just recommended that I get chicken strips. I don't know if y'all heard that on the mic, but all right. All right, now let's go inside for real.
so I'm not sure if I've ever actually been inside of a Dairy Queen, but at first glance, the inside of the place kind of just looked like every other fast food spot. Or so I thought.
Huh, well that's new. I've never been to a fast food restaurant with leather lounge chairs. Kind of like it. Feels fancy. Now from the looks of things, the menu itself also seems to have a lot going on.
I'm not exactly sure who the mastermind behind all of the food here is, but along with their blizzards, Dairy Queen also serves multiple different burgers, chicken strips, local specialties like burritos, nachos, and chili cheese dogs. Not to mention, I also saw this random ad for chicken and dumplings along with a fridge selling cakes. This was very strange to see because you'd think with so many food options available, Dairy Queen would have another staple item besides the blizzard.
Awesome, thank you.
I can confirm, these seats, pretty comfy.
Awesome, thank you. That was fast. Before I could even say another word, my food has arrived. Per that nice lady's recommendation, here we have the chicken strip combo. Got 4 little chicken strips right here, some toast, french fries, and I think this right here is gravy. The amount of fried food I'm eating in this video, diabolical. Since we are at Dairy Queen, I obviously had to get their iconic blizzards. This one, I believe, is the Royal New York cheesecake with like some chocolate on top. I don't really know. It was recommended to me and it looks delicious. Even though this is dessert, I'm gonna try this blizzard first, since if I don't, it's gonna melt. Cheers. Oh my lord, that is delicious. Since this is like a New York cheesecake blizzard, there's like some strawberries inside here. It's also got nice big fat chunks of cheesecake. Oh man. Now here's the thing. Obviously that blizzard was fantastic. We already knew it would be. The real test
Is whether their food is worth coming back for.
Let's see if these fries are as good as Long John Silver's. Based on first impressions, I'm gonna say no. It's got a nice amount of salt, the inside is fluffy, but my issue is there's not really a crunch to it, not really a nice bite. But maybe that's just me being picky. The toast looks pretty good, nice and even. It's hard to go wrong with toast. So far, besides the blizzard, we're not off to a great start, but the lady out front did recommend the chicken tenders specifically and not the bread or the fries. The good news is the chicken tenders do look crunchy. Fingers crossed. Since it came with gravy, I think we gotta do a big old dunk. I'm sure you can tell how I really feel based on my face, so I'm gonna be nice and start with the good things. First, it was fried pretty well. The outside is still nice and crispy. Flavor-wise, the seasoning was good. I can taste salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, the usual stuff. That's about it for the good. Now is when we get into not so great territory. I'm not really sure what's going on with the inside of the chicken. The meat kind of tastes like mush. Usually if it's overcooked or something, I'm used to it being kind of stringy, but this is unique to say the least. I'm gonna take one more bite though, just to make sure I'm not tripping, this time without the gravy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. The saving grace of this entire meal, literally, is this blizzard.
Taking all of that into account, I'm gonna say Dairy Queen does not deserve a comeback. The price of everything wasn't bad, but that doesn't really matter if the food isn't good. And in my humble opinion, maybe they should just consider selling dessert.
On to forgotten fast food chain number 3.
Ignore the stuff in my back seat. I need to take that to storage. Anyways, this next fast food chain is so forgotten that it hardly exists on its own anymore.
Ladies and gents, I welcome you to A&W. And yes, this is combined with a KFC.
Now, based on the photos online, unfortunately, the interior of the building does mostly look like a KFC, so I'm not gonna go inside for this one. Instead, we're gonna hit the drive-thru. Now, A&W was actually one of the earliest fast food chains in America, founded in 1919. At its peak, they had thousands of locations and was best known for their root beer and burgers. But sadly, as the fast food world got more crowded and bigger chains expanded faster, A&W just couldn't keep up. Instead of fighting to stay a standalone brand, most of their locations ended up merging with other chains like this one, so even though technically they're still around, you'd never really notice them. It really goes to show that things become really easy to forget if they're not obvious.
And funny enough, that's something I experience all of the time in my own life. For example, I should be going to the doctors pretty often since I eat a lot of not so healthy food for these videos. The issue is booking an appointment is usually such a hassle that I'll end up putting it off, completely forgetting about it, and ultimately end up not taking care of myself at all. Or at least that used to be the case until I started using ZocDoc, the sponsor of today's video.
ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors so you can find someone you love.
Can I do the A5?
A5,
Yes, please.
1190. First window, thank you.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Whether it's primary care, eye care, a dentist, or any of the other 200 specialties offered, you can easily search by specialty or symptom to find a doctor that's right for you.
You can see their real-time availability and book instantly, which means there's no need to wait around. If you want to see them in person, you can do that. Or if a video visit works better, you can do that too. I use ZocDoc so much, especially when traveling, because it makes it so much easier to find a reputable doctor in whatever city I end up at. And since it's so much easier, I don't get overwhelmed and I don't put my health on the back burner anymore. Thank you so much, appreciate it. Head to ZocDoc.com/Dylan or click the link down in my description box below to book an appointment with a healthcare provider that'll listen to you, understands you, and support you. And just like that, the food has been acquired. Now, one thing I do want to point out in case it wasn't clear, when you're actually ordering at one of these combination restaurants, you can order from both of the restaurants at the same time. Pretty cool. However, I only got food from A&W since that's what we're judging. Now I can show you what's in the bag. First up, we got some fries, which, wait a minute, what the? I ordered, what? Okay, hold on. I ordered an A&W combo. I'm not sure why the fries container is from KFC. I promise these are A&W fries. At least I think so. Okay, we're gonna ignore this. For my main entree, I got this bad boy right here. Behold, the one and only A&W. Dear God, that does not look good. So, here's the thing. I ordered their chili cheese coney because I didn't want to eat something else that was fried. What I wasn't expecting is how terrible this looks, and arguably might be worse for me to eat than another fried chicken or something. Putting how bad the food looks aside,
Since A&W is famously known for their root beer, I had to get their root beer freeze.
it's supposed to be a mix between like a milkshake and a slushie. I don't know. I saw it on the menu. It looked delicious. I had to get it. I'm gonna save it for last though and get through this potentially hazardous food first. Starting with the fries. Realistically, despite being in the KFC container, they do look pretty good. Bada bing, bada boom. Cheers. Ooh, there's a crunch to them. I'm trying to pinpoint what's so different about them compared to Long John Silver's and Dairy Queen, but based on first impressions, I think I like these more. They're nice and crunchy, the inside soft. Since this is a combo restaurant, I don't know if this was fried in the same oil as the fried chicken. I don't think you can do that since, you know, health codes or whatnot, but it kind of got that chicken flavor to it. These are definitely the best fries I've had all day so far. I'm a little worried about this chili cheese dog though. The more I stare at this thing, the harder it is to eat. This looks like slop. Who knows? Looks can be deceiving. Okay, the good news is that wasn't as bad as I was expecting. The bad news is it still wasn't good. Honestly, all I could really taste was the cheese, which may have honestly been a good thing. The rest of the coney dog was pretty bland for the most part. I usually like chili cheese dogs too, but the texture of this one was where it completely lost me. I don't even know how to explain it. So far, it's 1-to-1 for good and bad items, which means the tiebreaker is this root beer freeze. Cheers. That is delicious. I know there are controversial opinions about root beer. Personally, I think if you don't like root beer, you're wrong. This is absolutely fantastic. Just as described, it is a fantastic blend of a milkshake slash a slushie slash deliciousness. I would happily inject this into my bloodstream. I think that's basically just ice left. I killed that thing. Now that I've officially finished my meal, it's decision time. Does A&W deserve to make a comeback? This one might be a little controversial, so I'm gonna add some conditions. I believe A&W does deserve to make a comeback. If they get rid of that chili cheese dog from the menu. The fries were fantastic. The root beer freeze was perfect. That's my verdict.
Now, before I arrive at the next fast food spot, there's some history we need to unpack. Right now, the undisputed king of fast food is obviously McDonald's. They have the most locations, make the most money, you get the vibe. But back in the 1970s, McDonald's didn't own the crown yet. They actually had a serious nationwide competitor that was expanding just as aggressively and openly challenging them for the top spot. For a while, it was a real fast food war, until one day, this other brand just lost. If you haven't guessed it by now, that competitor was Burger King. This fast food chain was started in 1953 in Jacksonville, Florida, and by the late 1960s, it was the second largest burger chain in the US. I truly don't remember the last time I actually got food from here, which probably isn't a good sign. However, 2 out of the 3 restaurants that I've been to have deserved comebacks, so I'm curious if Burger King will deserve the same. We'll see.
Also, just to prove that Burger King really wants to be McDonald's' #1 rival, there's literally a McDonald's about a street over from where I'm at right now. I feel like this was calculated. Let me know what you think. This doesn't really affect the ratings, but I won't lie. I hate the fact that every fast food chain is trying to make itself look super modern. I don't know, just not a fan of that.
Now, for those who don't know, Burger King's most iconic item is their Whopper. They literally have a sign out front saying home of the Whopper, so obviously that's what I gotta get.
Awesome, thank you so much.
So I got my food, and along with the Whopper, I also ordered a few other items as well, because according to my research, one of the main reasons behind Burger King's fall off was actually their expanding menu. Back when Burger King was first taking on McDonald's, they had a really clear advantage with their iconic Whopper. It was flame grilled, bigger, more customizable, and actually came out before the Big Mac. But instead of focusing on making the Whopper taste better, Burger King chose to keep expanding their menu while changing their slogans constantly, which eventually led to the Whopper not feeling like the main event anymore. Clearly, that shift lost them the crown, but who knows? Maybe I'm being pessimistic, and this new stuff is actually really good, and nobody knows about it. There's really only one way to find out.
First things first, let's unwrap this Whopper. This could be because it's my first burger of the day, but I think it looks pretty good. Cheers. Okay. Truthfully, I don't remember the last time I had a Whopper, but after tasting it right now, I would say it is fairly comparable to a Big Mac. It's not bad, and I can see why this is Burger King's iconic item. The thing is, this being good is kind of expected. The next thing to try are these chicken fries. I don't think I've actually ever had these before.
As far as I know, outside of the Whoppers, these chicken fries might be BK's second most recognizable item.
Let's see what this looks like. If I can open the box. Boom. All right. I'll be totally honest here. These do not look that appetizing. Are these basically just long chicken nuggets? Cheers.
Flavor's not bad, but texture-wise, it's a little flimsy. Zero crunch. I don't know if it's supposed to have some crunch, but I think it's needed.
I'm also starting to get a little full from all of the food today, but I still have another burger to try. Next up is their Bacon King. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, now this just feels like Burger King trying to do too much. We got 2 patties, 2 pieces of cheese, bacon, and is that mayo, I think? Mayo and ketchup? This is gonna be heavy. So I don't love that per se, and I'll tell you why. I'm not 100% sure if Burger King's patties are frozen. I would assume they are. Because this burger has 2 patties, I feel like you can taste a little bit of that freezer burn.
It wasn't as noticeable in the Whopper since it only came with 1 thin patty.
But here, a very unique flavor is coming through. Also, the bacon itself wasn't crispy. I don't think anyone likes flimsy bacon. Overall, I'm not loving it.
This low-key was a huge bummer. I was really hoping that the food would surprise me because I genuinely believe that McDonald's needs some competition. The issue isn't really the fact that they added new menu items. It's that almost every major addition came after McDonald's released something first.
Instead of doubling down on what made them feel unique, it kind of feels like Burger King just threw stuff at the wall and hope it stuck. Taking that into account, plus the fact that the food wasn't great, I'm gonna have to say Burger King doesn't deserve to make a comeback. Now, unfortunately, the next forgotten fast food chain doesn't have a single location here in Texas.
So it's time for me to hop on a plane and make my way to good old
Oh my God. Guys, it is so freaking cold here right now. But the next fast food chain is right at the end of this block. Alrighty, y'all. We've officially arrived at White Castle.
For those who don't know, White Castle was founded in 1921 in Wichita, Kansas, and it's actually the oldest fast food hamburger chain in America. But despite being decades older than McDonald's, White Castle only has a few hundred locations in the US. After being around for so long, you'd think they'd want to be dominating the fast food industry, but for some reason, that's never really felt like White Castle's goal, and I'm curious why. As I stepped out of the cold and into the home of the original fast food burger, I immediately noticed that they were pretty busy. The place was decorated very simply, but I do appreciate that even though they're going for a more modern feel, up on the wall, they still have old photos of the restaurant from back in the day. Another thing I'm noticing is how simple their menu is. When White Castle first started, they kept their menu pretty basic, only offering coffee and their signature sliders, which are these tiny square hamburgers that basically built the entire chain.
What I love about their menu right now is that unlike the other fast food brands who tried to branch off into different categories, it seems like White Castle just doubled down and made a bunch of variations of their sliders.
Can I get a deluxe crispy chicken slider, an original slider, a cheese slider, and then a bacon cheese slider?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You too.
So I got my food, and all of this was literally less than $13, which, I don't know about y'all, but seems like a pretty good deal. In the bag, we got some fries and 4 different sliders. I got their deluxe crispy chicken, double bacon, the original, and the original with cheese. Presentation-wise, I know these sliders aren't the prettiest, but White Castle does have a pretty cult-like following, and this is like the most poppin' forgotten fast food chain I've been to so far. I'm assuming that means they're good.
I also found out that these sliders are called belly bombers by longtime White Castle fans. Not gonna lie, that's pretty cute.
Now this time around, I want to start by trying one of the newer items, the deluxe crispy chicken slider. I don't know when this came out, but literally it still says new on the box.
I'm actually very surprised. That chicken is way crispier than I thought it would be. I'm gonna give the rest of my thoughts after I try the other slider variation.
Let's check out the bacon cheese.
Okay, here I am being surprised again. This bacon is also crispier than I thought it'd be.
After trying both of their slider variations, I'm impressed.
Even though the chicken sandwich is a little ugly, the chicken itself was crispy, somehow the meat wasn't dry, there's lettuce, a tomato. Overall, that's all you can really ask for from a chicken sandwich, especially one that costs like $2.
As for the bacon slider, just having crispy bacon already beats the bacon burger that I had at Burger King. Now it's time to try the original slider and the cheese slider, the 2 items that basically put this place on the map.
Okay, so I definitely like the one with cheese more, but I think that's just because I like cheese. Taking the cheese out, they're basically the same thing.
Both sliders consist of their signature thin steamed patty cooked on a bed of onions, which infused that oniony flavor into the meat. There's a pickle slice for that touch of acidity, and since they were so small, they went down pretty easy. Not to mention,
These are pretty good fries.
so I'm officially done with them sliders at White Castle, which means the only thing that's left to do is answer the question, does White Castle deserve to make a comeback? After careful consideration, I'm gonna say they don't deserve to make a comeback. Hear me out. Everywhere else I ate at felt like they were constantly trying to adjust as the fast food world kept changing. On the other hand, White Castle's pretty much stayed the same. All they've done is double down on what makes them unique, and clearly people still love it. So even though they're not the biggest fast food chain in the world, that's okay, since they were never really forgotten in the first place.